Good morning! I don't know what day it is today. 13th, I think it's the 13th. I am making marmalade because I'm crazy. It's 9 in the morning. I'm going to make marmalade. Then I'm going to try and make cinnamon buns as well for tomorrow. And then I'm going to try an old pair of trousers. I like to overcommit myself, so I'm just, constantly disappointed. Anyway, apparently that's all the oranges I need. I need 1 kilo meant to be Seville oranges. Now, I don't have Seville oranges. I've looked for them. They are not going to be in the UK until January. I'm making them now. So I've looked at some research online, and Nigella says that you can add in some lemons. So I've taken out an orange and put in a lemon. And I've taken out an orange and put in a grapefruit. So I'm hoping that this amount, this looks very disproportionate, that amount of juice to this amount of sugar, that looks a lot. But anyway, let's just trust in the method. Trust in the method. I also do not have a juicer to juice the oranges, so I will just squeeze them by hand and then with a fork. And then slice everything up and then boil it. Actually, I'm just going to follow Delia's recipe and hope that my beautiful recycled jars will be full of marmalade by the end of today. It was probably really foolish to do it today, to be honest, because I'm working at 3, so if anything goes awry, I don't know. But I got my pinny on, which means I'm in business. Lila has got Stickman on, and I'm going to see how much I can get here. It doesn't need much attending once it's like bubbling away, I think. So I just need to get it started. And yeah, just need to get it started. Maybe I'll wash them all first if they're going in whole. Yeah, let's wash them. Always fun doing a craft. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing. So there we are. I have got my peel. When it goes. I've got my liquid. Water. Here it goes. I got my juice in this muslin. In it goes. And then I need to do something with this. Oh, Lila, what are you up to in there? Yeah, I'm just gonna... will it tie or not? Let's see. There we are. The pith, in it goes. I bore that for 2 hours. All right. I'm not going to argue with the process. Hi, sweetie. All right. What are you up to? You look like you're having fun. Let's see what happens in 2 hours. I've got my sauces in the freezer. I've got my sugar waiting to go. You want to say hi? Come say hi to everyone. Oh. Hello? Oh. Would you like some porridge? It'd be banana porridge. Mmm. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that in there? Is that Lila? Is that Lila? Hello? Who's that? Alright. Let's get you something to eat, shall we? Yeah. Goodness me, I feel dishevelled. Anyway, Lila is napping. My marmalade is nearly finished. I'm just doing the saucer test in a minute. And I'm going to do these cinnamon buns. It's risen. It's doubled in size. I'm going to smash it down, roll it out, and smear it with cinnamon, sugar butter. Oh, I'll be glad when these things are done. Really glad. I think doing these cinnamon buns maybe tipped me over the edge today, but there was no way I was going to be able to do it before 10 o'clock tomorrow, and I wanted to bring something special to Lila's playgroup thing. Other people are going to probably bring a banana or some shop bought things, and it will have been completely unnecessary. What can I say? I am just that person. I'm just that person. This is my second saucer test, actually. But, yeah, it does wrinkle. And it is, like, gloopy. What more do you want? It looks like marmalade. It tastes like marmalade. Oh. Mmm. I don't even usually eat marmalade. Mmm. Oh, that's good. Alright, I'm going to do those buns whilst my jar's finish sterilising, and then everything's going to have been put together by 1 o'clock, and then I will have an hour and a half to show you what I've done upstairs. Oh, I don't know where I'm looking, my camera's the other way. To show you my dress upstairs, which I'll start doing tomorrow to finish off, and clean the kitchen and shorten a pair of trousers. Done it to myself. I did this to myself.
Oh, blimey, look at them. That was just what was left, so that's the cook's treat. I think I'll put that straight in the fridge once it's cooled. And I will have that on some buttered crumpets, I think. I don't think you get more English than marmalade. Marmalade on a buttered crumpet. So, variety of jars. That's the nicest jar. That's a fancy one, isn't it? Add some good pickle in it. Anyway, I've also done my cinnamon buns. They're ready. Usually I cook cinnamon buns to golden brown. I also brush them with an egg wash. I didn't have any egg wash, so I used melted butter. I don't know what I was thinking. Hasn't done it any harm, but also hasn't given it a beautiful glaze. Never mind. And I have cooked it less than usual because however you cook them, they're gorgeous out of the oven. But when you want to eat them the next day, if you've cooked them to golden brown, they're just not moist anymore. And seeing as these are for somebody, like for the group tomorrow, I wanted to try and attempt them to be moist tomorrow. Oh, those are good. One of the jars is making a noise. Waiting for it to explode in my face. Don't think that's how jars work, is it? It's going to be that one, isn't it? Maybe it's a noise outside. What a crazy person I am listening to jars. Anyway, that is spot on. You've got to taste them, don't you? When you've made something, you've got to taste them. Okay, I've got an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 45, an hour 15 before I leave for work. So I'll pack my bag and then we'll go upstairs and quickly have a look. I don't know if I'll be able to finish hemming those trousers. Finish, I mean, as if I've actually started. Which of course I have not. Anyway. Ooh, that is good. Could do with a little bit more cinnamon. But the cinnamon is on ration. Because I only have a bit left. And Lina will need it in her porridge in the morning. Oh, very good. These are one of the things I make often. Cinnamon buns and madeleines. They're my two. If I'm baking, that's what I'm making. Just a super quick peek of the dress that I did yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, was yesterday. I'm going to need to unpick the side seams in order to do a facing. And my mannequin is smaller than me now. She was always a bit smaller than me when I made her, but now she's a lot smaller than me. And I'm going to match up this with this V, I hope, so that there's a nice point in the middle. And then I did try to more or less get this grey to match as I was cutting it. I had that in mind. Whether or not that will actually end up being the case, we'll have to wait and see. But it's coming along really beautifully. The reason that I went crazy with the overlocking is it was fraying like crazy. I mean, I couldn't really overlock into this corner, so all I've got is just the interfacing stay tape, which is holding it together because it was really badly fraying. Everything is overlocked. I just need to do that facing and then attach the top and bottom together at the waistline, whack a zip in, and then the final thing will be hem. So she's coming along beautifully. Hello, hello, hello. Then I had my delivery of the satin that I ordered, and it's beautiful. Oh. Difficult to see, I know. It isn't an orangey red, it's a true red. Shiny with a nice kind of dimpled texture, and it's beautiful, really beautiful. Perfect Christmas bow in a Christmas film, red satin. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's go to the window so we get good. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Get the sheen of it. Tiny bit brighter than my classic red jumper, but that's more of the sheen of the satin than the actual colour of it. My jumper's quite matte in comparison. I'm going to see if I can shorten these jeans quickly. Yeah, a denim jean, 2 rows of top stitching. Don't know whether to do a top stitch or a binding. You can cut that bottom edge off and reapply it. It's bulky and stiff. Now I'm going to do a top stitch. I'll still do the 2 lines, like the same as the original. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to need a grey. Don't have anything this thick, so I'm going to double it. Do you know, I really enjoy doing alterations sometimes. I used to do it so often in my job. And I almost miss it. Almost. It does not often happen, but I actually finish everything on my to-do list. But, so I don't know the time. What's the time? It's before 1:30. I've got another 20 minutes, I think. I've done myself 2 rows of top stitching. I slightly sanded it down before I stitched it, so it didn't look like your mum has shortened your jeans on a domestic machine on the kitchen table, which is fine, but you know, there's a particular look when you've gone from this like distressed to perfect. It doesn't quite, do you know what I mean? You can't see it on the screen, you can barely see it in real life, but it just gives it a tiny bit of like almost fluffiness. And I very much doubt he irons his motorbike jeans, so by the time these have been like and worn. They'll look better anyway. Like perfectly pressed hems. That's like super on call, isn't it? As a motorcyclist, I can imagine. And the last thing. Checking they're the same length. Perfect. 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 It's 2 stitches held double on the bobbin. I wound it up with 2, and then it's 1 on the inside. And I also didn't go really close to the edge. I went in a bit so that the distance would be spot on to this. But in case it's too short, I can let down a good amount. So, done, 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 done. And I had lunch earlier as well. Since I had my Lila, I never, ever, ever meet any of my self-imposed deadlines. I never finish everything when I want to. So it's nice to, it's nice just once in a while to feel a little bit like a superhero and to have finished everything on your crafty list. Well, it's crafty. They were more chores really, weren't they, to be honest? Although making the cinnamon buns is worth it for the eating of the cinnamon buns. There we go. See you tomorrow. Wow. Turn it on. Back on. Come on. Back on, please. Off again. Turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on again. Wow. 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 Yeah. That looks fun. Is that fun? Wow. Been to playgroup, successful distribution of my cinnamon buns. Also did a trade, so now I have not got a massive amount of cinnamon buns, I distributed them. I have also got half a loaf cake of honey and date cake. Fabulous, that'll do me nicely later with a cup of tea. And a packet of Pom Bears because she liked them. Look, when she's tired, she's so cute and she's so filthy. You're gonna wash your face and brush your teeth? Yeah? Might even get a cuddle. And then all I'm gonna do to my dress, oh, it needs a zip. I'm gonna do the facing. I need to unpick the side seams, cut a facing out, overlock the facing, stitch the facing on, stitch the side seams back together, stitch the bodice to the skirt. Couple of things. I'm not going to line it. I may come to regret that, and if I do, I'll just line it after, and I'll do a lining where the lining attaches to the facing. Put herself to bed. And oh, I do have a zip, but it might just be that smidgen too short. I'll pin up the centre back to the point where that zip would fit and then see if I can easily get it on and off my hips, because otherwise there's no point really, is there? And I'm going to pop out later when she wakes up from her nap, and we're going to go and get my haul from Marks & Spencer's. I made an order for collection. Jason's Christmas presents. Pyjamas. Very boring, but he does love those autograph pyjamas. And I bought I indulged and got myself some long johns. Thermal. I can't even remember what I ordered myself, to be honest now. What style? One pair of leggings, and then I think, has it got a turtley neck? I can't remember. There was a few different options, but I thought, what's the point in having a thermal and then this really low cut? That's pointless. So, yeah, fingers crossed that is easy to collect and there are no issues with it. Not so easy getting off the floor. Alright, you ready now? Are you ready to go for a nap? Yeah? You're gonna cuddle. I love you. Oh dear. Yeah? Yeah, I'm glad everyone wanted to know about that. Hi. I'll meet you in the craft room. Alright, I've whipped the facing on. And then stitched the side seams back together. Ow. Beastie. Hey, Nunu, you alright? Don't you look at me like that. Alright. I've only so far understitched here. And then I think I'm going to understitch from as far as my machine will go up, probably here. I can't go all the way up there. And then I'll understitch around to the same point. Oh, what am I cracking? Oh wait, no, there's a pin. Oh, I don't want to burst out of it already. Now, I haven't graded down the seams, only that one, so I need to go back in and just trim down. And that'll take out a bit of the bulk. That point there is where it's feeling the thickest, just here, with that seam across. Do you know, I could have done my facing without a seam and done like an all-in-one facing. I reckon I could have done that. That would have reduced the bulk. Never mind. This makes it more alterable anyway, having a seam. So I could wear a little blouse like this. Got a hairband already. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the width of it. I'm happy with the neckline. I wouldn't wear it with nothing underneath, but I don't think. Be nice with, well, maybe without something without a collar. Does it look alright? I can't see. It's bulging a bit because it's not got the zip in, it's just pinned. And then with the skirt. Oh, let me pop the skirt on. I think this is a good one. I think this is going to come out nice. Come have a further look. That's a terrible shot. What a beautiful dress. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I do have a zip, but I don't know if it's gonna fit. I'll have to lay it out and see. I could get in the skirt with the opening as it is now. I've got a zip that's clearly been, oh no, that's not the one. That's an invisible. I'm not putting an invisible one in. God, that'd break in a second, that would. Maybe I don't have a zip then. How beautiful. All matched in the front, matched in the sides. Did I match the shoulder? Not purposefully. Oh, no, I didn't. Anyway, what a lovely day it is today. What a lovely day. I don't know, this has come out really brilliantly, and don't even know if I'm going to put pockets on it actually now I'm at this stage. I might just wear it this weekend and see how I feel, and maybe I'll make a pocket, pin it in once I've worn it a few times. Sometimes I come back to something and want to add something later on. Yeah, that's pretty with a pinfall. Like, how much space? I might want to check it, because I could let out these side seams if I wanted a bit extra space. Is that matched? That's kind of matched. I think it was that line and that line I was trying to match. Anyway, I can always let out the side seams if I need a bit of extra space. And I had added extra in the centre back, but considering how thick the fabric is, I'm going to need that wee bit of extra. So I'm glad that I made that allowance just in case. That was a good move. Yay, Christina of the past. I had whipped off these really quickly. They're facing pieces. I just drew around my pattern and then took like a general rough estimate. Really happy with that. I think a brooch will go very nicely just somewhere there. Might do a nice hair curl for the weekend to go and see Jason's family. What else? Well, let's just see how far I can get on this before Lila wakes up. See if I can find that zip. Oh, I hope I have a zip. I hate taking Lila to too many places, so I can run up into town, up the hill and into Marks and Spencer's, and that's already pushing it after nap time. She might be a bit grumpy. And then in the park, it's like a 5-minute walk from there to go to the craft shop. But somehow that now feels like 100 miles, whereas in the past I would easily go to 3, 4, 10 shops. I mean, I never went to 10 shops, but you know what I mean. And now it just feels like a totally different experience, worrying about her and her getting irritated, whining. Very boring to tell you about, but anyway, let's stitch this together at the waist and we'll see about a zip and understitching. That has made a really big difference, I've got to say. I only trimmed one of the layers of the seam allowance, left the other one as it is, nipped into those corners of the seam allowance, and I did an understitch under here. Made a big difference. I'm getting a little bit of a something there. I'll have a look, see if I've snipped into the seam allowance. Got to remember though that you do move in things, so you will sometimes get, I forget this, you will sometimes get a little bit of movement and a crease here and there. And the part of me that did fitting for all those years as my job and tailoring, I try and remove every wrinkle and every bubble and every tiny little imperfection, and you forget, if you take out everything, you will not be able to move. It's one of the biggest mistakes actually when you work in fitting is overfitting, and I never did it on clients, but when you do it yourself, the real temptation is just to keep going and going and going. Got this ugly background. Yeah, you just want to keep going and going and going and taking away everything so you look perfect, and actually you almost want that outside, taking a step away and looking at the garment as a garment to wear on your body rather than as like a work of art on a mannequin. So, let's see how much more I can do. Oh, I would love to finish it, but it's not going to happen today, is it? Let's not push ourselves too far. as far as I can take it today. I have understitched through here. I've understitched around here as far up as I can get. I've trimmed all of the seam allowances down. I could do another press, but you know, I can do that later. I don't know if you can see that I've used the same fabric for the facing, so it is quite thick, but on the body you don't notice. I suppose if you look down here, that's maybe where you would, but I haven't understitched that yet. I'll understitch that after the zip has been put in. So yeah, I like these points. I think that's come together really well. I like how the stripe goes down the middle and then breaks into two. I like the ever so slight V through here. I just think it's working really well. Obviously my mannequin is a bit smaller than me, but sorry, I've got the chateau. Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck now with what I can do really, because I need a zip to put that in. Once the zip's gone in, I will understitch and just do that last little bit of hand stitching the facing through here and through here. It's already been stitched underneath all the way around so that the facing doesn't flap up, and because it's a nice thick tweed, whatever, this thick stuff, wool, you don't see my hand stitches, and I'll try it on and just make sure there's no pulling. But yeah, it's coming together really well. I guess the only other thing is the hem. Oh, that's difficult to tell really. I might. What's it looking like? It's not too bad really. I suppose it's looking a bit shorter on the sides, if that's the side seam. Maybe I could just kind of cut away a little bit at the front. And then for the finish, I'm kind of just tempted. Look, I've made such a mess on that floor with this fabric. I'm kind of just tempted just to turn it up with the overlocking and either hand stitch it or even, dare I say, top stitch, because I don't think you're going to see it in this fabric. As I was understitching on these armholes, you genuinely, I could not see my stitches, they just disappeared. I mean, I'm not against hand stitching it, but hand stitching is only worth doing if it's worth doing. If you can do a top stitch and it's not going to notice it, then why bother? Why bother wasting your time? Anyway, I don't know. I might go and have something to eat and just leave it to hang for a while. I've also not really let it, well, I guess I've had it on the mannequin a while, but I haven't had it sewn in at the waist point. I don't know if that's gonna, usually I finish something before I say it's hung, even if it has already been hanging. Anyway, I think today is fine. Just if I could get the zip in later, that would be really amazing. Oh, it is very beautiful. I'm very happy how this has come out, and even though it's a super thick fabric, it has worked out really well. Yay!